covered his father's nakedness, because that's a woman that only his father could see. Right? Read.
Both of them shall surely be put to death, and their blood shall be upon them. So
there will be no such program as Jerry Springer. Okay? In Israel days. Okay? Guys sleep with other people's, if the father has a girlfriend that the son is sleeping with and all that, that was unheard of in the law. But yet in our society, this is juicy, this is cute, this is something to talk about. But don't you know, if you laugh about it and agree with it, you are in accordance with it? If you don't frown upon it, then there's some level of agreement. So they make it they pass it to you in what you would call a comedic fashion. Okay. Read.
Verse 12. And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law,
he lies with his daughter-in-law,
both of them shall be put to death.
Both of them shall be put to death. These are the things you might see on Jerry Springer on TV. Somebody's daughter-in-law. Read.
They have wrought confusion. Their blood shall be upon them.
Go ahead.
If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman.
So if a man lie down with a man the way a man was made to lie with a woman, that's intercourse. Read.
Both of them have committed an abomination.
Now, out of all those sins, you notice this sin is being pushed to the next level. This is an abomination. This is not to even be thought about. Read.
They shall surely be put to death.
They shall surely be put to death. Don't you know, by reading this out of the Bible, it's a hate crime. Just by reading it. So who's in charge of society? If you can't read this without someone calling you a made-up name that's really not a part of any vocabulary, any dictionary, there's no such word as homophobic, okay? A matter of fact, there's no such word as, believe it or not, and we use a term just for political correctness so that people will know what we're speaking of. There's no such thing as homo sapien. There's no such thing as homo erectus. There's no such thing as homosexual. There's no such thing as asexual, bisexual. There's no such things as that. These are terms they have used in society so that you can accept a behavior. The Most High made male and female. Period. There's no in-betweens on that. Just because you desire in something, there should not be a title for that if it's against the laws of God. Just because something is in you, urging you to do something that's against the Most High God. Just because you feel is right. And see, this is what they have programmed us to believe. That it's not to hurt someone's feelings. You're talking about feelings. Back then, believe me, this ain't judging what we're doing by reading it. In the Old Testament, you were killed on the spot. So this is not judgment extending understanding of the Most High to people and an opportunity for them to change. That's not evil. That's not wrong. Well, you hurt me. What you said was painful and hurt. Listen, get out of that. Another thing. Now they putting on the news, they say, well, another gay teenager just committed suicide. You see that all in the news now. My question is, why can't it just be a teenager? Why did you have to insinuate that it was a gay teenager? How many teenagers commit suicide every day? And have you ever seen any headline? Another straight teenager committed suicide today. So why are they promoting this gay thing? I'm going to go into that a little later in the class. But I wanted to show you how Leviticus 20 covers so many areas. It covers the child sacrifice, which your elite powers promote. The sorcery and witchcraft and dealing with familiar spirits, which society promotes. Also, the spirit of adultery, which this society promotes. Also, disobedience to parents. Disobedient children, which this society promotes. Why? Because if they can get you away from your parents, you belong to the government. Homosexuality, incest, all these things is what this society promotes. So no wonder they teach you in your religious institutions not to read the Old Testament. Those laws are done away with. Now when you read these things and hear a Christian say these laws are done away with, now you understand the state of the Christian churches today. Because you mean to tell me if these things are done away with, hey, then okay, it makes perfect sense. Why you can do anything you want now. And it's okay. Right? But it tells you in the New Testament that the law was our schoolmaster to bring us to Christ. In order to understand Christ, you must first know the schoolmaster. You must know from whence Christ came. There was no New Testament when Christ was operating on the earth. He was reading out of the Old Testament. Right? Read.
Verse 14. If a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness.
So if a man deal with a wife and then he deal with the wife's mother, that goes on too. You have a young lady bring a man home or a young man home that she liked, and the mother be eyeing the young man. That happens too. All the time. Read.
It is wickedness, and they shall be burned with fire.
They shall be burned at the stake. So don't tell me that the Most High is not merciful and long suffering. Because these things are happening regularly in our society, and it's to a point where if you hear about it, you don't bat an eye. It's not even, we've been so desensitized to the point where you won't cringe for a moment hearing any of these things. Any of these things are normal. Oh, child sacrifice, yeah, I heard about that before. All right, homosexuality, yeah, that's everywhere. Barack Obama just said, listen, he promotes gay marriage. He wants them to do this. Yeah, you know, a guy, they crazy. You have a guy bragging, yeah, man, I was with him, her, and her mother. They'll be bragging and people be laughing and they'll just be. This is regular society. Read.
They shall be burnt with fire.
They shall be burned with fire before everyone. Read.
Both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you.
Last verse for you. Go ahead.
And if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast.
Now listen to this. It says this is bestiality, another law. Now some people might ask, well, the beast was violated by the man or the woman. Why should the beast be put to death? Remember, when the Most High tells us in the New Testament, when two come together, their flesh shall become one. You actually share a spirit when that happens. So you take on the spirit of the beast, becoming one with the beast, and the beast takes on your spirit. These are things, you're joining spirits with a beast. So the Most High says immediately, you must kill the beast, and you must, that beast will never be the same. Just not too long in law under Barack Obama, they signed a bill for American troops. If they feel they need to release tension or whatever, they got a law where it's okay for them to sleep with goats. It's okay for them to sleep with beasts. It's in the law. They actually passed a law in the United States. This is beyond don't ask, don't tell. The provision where a homosexual can be a homosexual and don't have to ask. No one have to ask, and he don't have to tell. So you can have a guy that's desiring you all up in your bunkers and all that, and have no power. You know what I mean? To push this thing away from you. Why? Because now it's in your space. Don't ask, don't tell. So now, what's going on now? Homosexuality is promoted within the ranks. And these things are happening big time, even though it's been happening for a long time. It's out in the open now. And then you have the commander-in-chief, the same guy who said that bestiality was okay. He's commander-in-chief. Same guy is now coming around telling everyone that, okay, it's okay for homosexuality, gay marriage. It's okay for men to be married. So he done took the term that came from the Creator himself and promote this to what the Bible calls an abomination. We're near the end. This is it. This is it. This is it. Finish reading. Oh, your verses are done, right? You can go ahead. Pick up 16, right? Yeah. 16 through 20.
Verse 16.
Leviticus 20 and 16. Go ahead.
And if a woman approach unto any beast and lie down thereto.
Now you have that all the time. You got women who actually deal with dogs and all those things. Cats. This is a regular thing. You think they're going to adopt a cat and dog to walk? And no. Welcome to the real world, folks. Read.
Thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Verse 17. And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He have uncovered his sister's nakedness, he shall bear his iniquity.
And it says his sister's nakedness. That's sleeping with sisters, like they do in certain elite circles. The Romans were known for this. And then you have this, like certain hillbillies down south in the States. They known for that. Mm-hmm. Read.
Verse 18. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he have discovered her fountain, and she have uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people.
Now that's talking about purposely laying with a woman who's dealing with her monthly cycle. That's a spirit in itself. If you are waiting for this time to come around and say, okay, all right, this is where it's at. That's not right. And you have some people who relish in that. Like that's what they like. Now, I mean, I'm sorry that the Bible is so is in detail, but that's what it is. So that we can know beyond any shadow of a doubt the do's or don'ts. So there's no gray areas. That's unlawful according to the Most High. A matter of fact, during this period of time, there was a place where the sisters could go to be separated during that time. So they don't even desire that. Of course, they were taken care of, manicured, and it was a rest from the house and all that. But a man knew not to touch a woman in her flowers or during her time of